we're going to go ahead and start our special meeting. Today is Tuesday, March 24th. It's a special briefing. Go around the room for introductions.
Peter Gallon.
Loretta Swanson.
Randy Nether.
Kevin Shooty.
Sharon Trask.
Hi, Commissioner Shooty.
There.
Thank you, Commissioners. I just wanted to provide a quick update about Public Works operations, and also I walked off without it, but I did not bring a telework request. And so I do have a request for approval for some folks to be able to telework. And it's not requesting VPN access. These are folks that can simply do work from home.
How do we make sure that they are?
With daily reporting and also a scope of work and assignment of here's what's the project that needs to be worked on and what will be delivered. And essentially this will be our engineering personnel is who we're turning loose on that. So they've got Civil 3D loaded on their desktops and we'll be able to continue work on our design projects. We've got several projects that have tight deadlines and
And you'll be able to call them in if you need them.
yes, absolutely.
If you tell me that you have a way to keep track of it, I'm supportive.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Yeah. Kevin, do you have anything? Or Commissioner Shooty?
Nope, all good.
All right, thank you. Yeah, and in terms of our finance and front office, basically, essentially all other operations are as normal. We've got space so we can maintain our safe distances. We've got sanitary conditions. If people are sick, they will not come into work, not report to work.
Great.
So following all of the protocols.
I think that's important that we need to stress to people that if you are sick, please stay home.
Absolutely, yes. And we do have some things on the road operations side that we're working to make sure that we've got separation there. And met with supervisors a little bit this morning to talk about that. And so we've got a little fine tuning to do on the operations side as well.
Great, great. What about the mechanics?
Yes, so mechanics have plenty of space, and as you know, we are service providers for our emergency responders. And we not only our own equipment, but also essential services. So our mechanics are on duty and providing service as well. This morning, an example, our sign shop provided signs as part of the response, a road closure on one of for the Swanson tribe. So we're here to provide services in support of this event.
Really appreciate that.
Something to bring up, Kevin, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, I just want to make sure you hear me too on this, because I need all you guys' input. I'm getting a lot of comments about people that are going up into the state forest that we have access to in Belfort, the Tahuya State Forest, to where they're just coming up there in the hordes, basically with motorcycles and everything else. Is there any possibility that we could consider putting signs up on some of those roads like Effendall Pass, local traffic only or something?
Is that's a state forest, right?
Yes.
So that
So-
would require,
The state.
No, but I mean on our road, not on their properties. We have roads that everybody uses. The Effendall Pass Road is ours.
right.
And that's where a lot of this is happening to the extreme, to where, they're coming up by 50 at a time. It's just,
From what I understand, the state parks are still closed until May, what was it, May 30th?
that's not stopping them at all.
Really?
Can I chime in here for a sec?
Please.
Yeah, so I'm in agreement with Randy. I think it would be great if we could do some signage to, try to offset some of the impacts that we're seeing. I would also maybe go a step further. A couple of weeks ago, I had asked what the potential or the ability is to put some reader boards out and I think it would be really helpful if we put those in strategic places on county roads. Have the governor's message, stay home, stay healthy on it, and then, on the next slide of that, have our website where they can get information. And I think just having reminders out there, that people ought to be not using these, access points, and that they should be taking this seriously. I think we should be considering all of those. I know that if there's a way that we can coordinate that with DNR, and state parks to have, them, maybe provide some additional messaging or signage or outreach. I think that would be great. I know over the weekend I reached out to the National Forest folks, to do that as well. So, whatever we can do to kind of get the word out, I think we ought to be doing.
I know at our planning meetings every morning, that was one of the things we did bring up was the reader boards and putting those out there for people so that we could pass on information. But I think it's a perfect opportunity to relay the governor's order to stay home, stay healthy.
And for the public works reader boards, that's a perfect message because we have such limited space, and stay home, stay healthy says it all. I'm not sure we'll be able to fit the website in all of that business, but we'll do our best.
Even if we just put doh.wa.gov,
There you go, yeah.
Get them in touch with one of the official,
Yep,
message providers.
perfect.
Whether it's us or the state, I don't really have, a preference, I guess, based on the space. But whatever we can do, I think we ought to be doing.
Okay,
I think to even ask the city, I know they have reader boards as well, and if they could kind of hit some of the key spots where people are coming into the city, that would free us up to get some reader boards, maybe up more in the north end and different parts of Commissioner Trask's district as well.
That's a great idea. I'll get a hold of Jeff Knighton with the city and see if we can work on that.
I know there was talk also about using some of the banks and
I have no
real
problem,
estate
I have no problem reaching out to them, but
folks.
right now, we're probably a little bit late, because a lot of those are non-essential. And, not just the banks, the signs up in Belfair, they're connected.
Maybe, one option might be, the John L. Scott reader board.
Yes.
Out there.
right.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, we can get some of those, and, just, we won't be able to get as many as we normally could if they're already closed.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
But
Even if we just got some in key areas,
yeah,
where we know there's typically, some traffic.
yep,
Right, we'll get a hold of the real estate offices down here in my district too. So maybe each of us took our own districts and got a hold of the realtors or anybody else that has a sign. Just to pass the word.
now, what about
It's a
the,
great idea.
and I like this, I like moving forward, but I also wanna continue if there's agreement to move forward with dropping some of those signs in those heavily traveled areas for tourists, reminding them local traffic only. I'm thinking one up by Cushman is, going up that road would be a wise one, just to have something there for them to see. I know my area is a little bit more condensed. A lot of people use it more than they do anything else out here. You probably don't know, but there's more motorcyclers and stuff up there and horseback
Oh,
riders.
sure.
It's crazy up in that forest, but we have a few choke points where we can put the local access only that would have a big impact.
Right.
Commissioner Schutte, is there anything you need from us in terms of access out of the Skokomish Valley, or was that what you were coordinating with the Forest Service over the weekend?
No, I was thinking more along the lines of staircase.
Okay,
As most people were kind of congregating in Hoodsport and then heading up that way
okay,
there. I hadn't heard much from the valley.
okay,
Yeah, but that is a key one. I'm one of those people that, that's how we go up there.
Yeah.
We actually go that way.
right.
So to drop a local traffic only sign would probably be beneficial there too, I would think. A pretty cutoff area.
Right. I think we also need to make sure that we get the message out that these are not blockades. because there's a lot of rumors going around saying that the
Right.
roads are being
Right.
Yeah.
blocked.
But that's why the term local traffic only, everybody recognizes that lives there. And then they'll actually probably police it themselves a little bit. Although we don't want any trouble, but in a sense, I'm telling you, if we don't do something, we're gonna have it. I've got people up in the north that are saying some pretty horrible things about seeing all these people coming into where they live up there, and they wanna do something about it. It's pretty rough.
Yeah.
And we're talking some names that you would all recognize, and that's not good, because those old timers, they mean it. They're not just saying it.
Yeah. I like that.
Okay.
Those are all good steps. I think we also need to talk about our parks. People are still going to our parks. And, so we need to make sure that we've got some sort of signage out to protect our park hosts. Because, you know, they are in that
On the
age.
front line.
Yeah. And so if we can do something to put a notice out saying that the parks are closed and that, make sure that the bathroom doors are locked.
Okay. I can follow up with Ross.
Oh, perfect. Okay,
Details on that.
great, thank you.
All right, and then the other thing to discuss briefly are just backup plans. So all of the various sections of Public Works have been talking about alternate schedules and rotations and basically thinking about what if scenarios. So all of that is laid out at this time. Even though business is normal, we're looking at shifts and alternate schedules to
Great.
take care of.
Well, because
What ifs?
we have longer days, that gives you that opportunity to offset a little bit, so they're not all there at one time.
Right.
What about the
Transfer stations?
Yes, thank you.
Yes, so that's the other thing. This morning, Commissioner, you heard Zach say that there've been closures up in Kitsap, and that's had effect on our operations. And prior to that, we were considering whether or not to reduce service at Hoodsport and Union. No cries of anguish, Commissioner Schutte, but looking at where, if need be, where we would focus our efforts. And so I know that Zach and Richard have been looking at schedules along those lines. And
Well-
wanted to check in with commissioners about if it is determined from our perspective that operationally it makes sense to shut a couple of our transfer stations, how we should be conversing with you about that.
I definitely want to keep North Mason open with them closing kits up to everybody, not us, just everybody that's doing.
Right.
I know, that's a big one.
It is
A lot of
big.
people, but I also worry that they'll come here.
Yes.
And
So
they are.
They are.
So that's why I say,
They
well,
are.
no, at the same time, our own people, when they found out, they went up and we were closed. So I don't know what happened that day, but that's what they were worried about. And so they actually worried that people are gonna drop the garbage right out there in front, which has been known to happen when we
Yes.
close. So a double whammy. But
Right.
having that the local access on there may help us again too. That's one of the ones that they can take to get up there, but if you do both ends of Sand Hill, the very beginning and the very top up by Bear Creek to Windom, that may slow some of that down too.
Yeah, we talked about this morning, and my concern is, it's definitely a health issue if people are just dumping their garbage at the gate. And that's what I'm afraid that a lot of people will do.
Well, there's still locations where you can pull off the road up there and do it, and they do, and they will.
Oh, yes.
That's what the neighbors are always, why they never wanted that thing there.
Yeah, so if we can keep them open, I think, you know, that's a good bet,
Yeah.
a good thing to do.
And the farther we can turn them around away from it, the better. So by having that sign at the beginning of the road on both sides is quite a ways away from the actual facility. And them in their trucks or whatever may not come up there. Because that's where they would dump it, is they would go up there and pull off into the woods somewhere and dump it if they can't get in.
Bless you. Okay. Anything else operationally or question-wise? Yes.
I had one, and this is brought forward by the union. Their concern was around the morning meetings
Yes,
with the truck drivers and operators.
yep,
That there be social distancing in that regard.
absolutely.
And something Ron mentioned that one of the other union, one of the other counties are doing is instead of having an indoor union or meeting, they use their managers and the truck drivers are in their rigs. So, because they don't have the ability to do social distancing in their office. So they communicate with the driver in the rig rather than in a confined area.
Right,
So his concern was that there be either social distancing or some other mechanism to relay the day-to-day activities,
yes. And
if
we-
that's going to continue.
Yeah, we discussed that this morning, and
Okay.
we've got plenty of space to spread out. We can absolutely do
Especially if you
that,
separate the,
for sure.
when they're coming in.
Yeah, well,
in
we've got
shifts.
the sign shop, we've got building two, we've got plenty of places where we can get our business taken care of at the beginning and the end of the day and maintain our separation. The other thing that we addressed this morning is taking a look at additional equipment and what type of work is occurring so that we can, that not everyone, or there's not 2 or 3 people in one truck, for example. So there are things that we can do to separate that way as well.
Well, what about some of the vehicles that we still have up there that are pool vehicles and stuff that they could maybe drive to the job site?
That's exactly it, yes. Yep.
Okay.
And then the other is just taking responsibility for ourselves and making sure that we are maintaining the 6 feet, maintain that we're being clean and healthy, and if we're not well, that we're staying home, just all of the same simple messaging.
Well, I can imagine you have a big room filled with people, they're all taking their distance, as soon as the meeting's over, it's like gravity, they all just go right like this to go out the door, go together and go
Sure.
out.
Yeah, well,
So-
and just have it, your breaks, your lunch, when you think about the differences for our crew, they take a break at the same time and they're used to working and
Are you gonna separate those
lunching
break
together,
times?
so you need to, well, you're in a crew, so, yeah. It's,
They'll have to self-distance.
absolutely, yes. So, we've got some fun little things to work out.
It's a
Well,
new,
as long as
They're a
we're
little
working it out.
different than, yep,
this is a new adventure.
yeah, and so far,
That's
folks
the
are
easiest thing.
being, good problem solvers.
Great. Commissioner Shooty, do you have anything else?
Yeah, I'd just say, you know, I appreciate that that's a conversation that's happening up there, and just, you know, I mean, there's no way around it. You know, the reading the governor's order, you know, most of our road crews are going to be considered essential, you know, as they have always been considered essential. And so, you know, with that, we have to look for mitigation on the job sites, and I'm happy to hear that there's dialogue, including between you know, the crew and management, but also with labor as well on these things. And so just continue to find ways to make it work. And if you need anything from us, obviously we're here, and we're you know, willing to do whatever it takes to kind of help mitigate some of those concerns and some of the issues that might come up in the field.
Perfect, thank you very much.
You know, as you see with what's happening with the West Seattle Bridge, you know, infrastructure doesn't necessarily understand it's more in the middle of a public health emergency.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Right, exactly.
You know, so just kind of, you know, reiterate to your folks, you know, we appreciate what they're doing. You know, we know that it's difficult in some of these circumstances, but there's just some work that's simply unavoidable in order to maintain, you know, the broader infrastructure that we have, and that's also important for public health and safety as well.
If this thing passes tonight, Frank, they will all get a 5%?
If they're at work,
Yeah,
Right.
yes, that is correct.
okay, just wanted to double check.
Do they have any
Do you,
any needs or requests for, I know PPE, we're strapped on it, but I don't know if, you know, for while they're transiting together to job sites, have they made any requests along those lines?
that was one of the things I was asking of supervisors this morning. I know that just the spray has been kind of in short supply for our folks and in their individual rigs.
The cleaning spray.
The cleaning spray, correct. And we've been able to have gloves for our solid waste. I mean, that's not a problem for solid waste and utilities.
And I think I requested you talk to Ross to get the masks for them as
Yes,
well.
yep. And I do know that just cleaning in building 2 in general, I mean, even before this event, has been a concern. And I know we're not alone in just the cleaning concerns.
Well, now that everything is down, can we shift some of those? Frank?
Some of the janitors.
Yeah,
Yes,
That would be
we
great.
can have a conversation in that regard, I'll try and contact them.
let's figure out what parts of our county are not being utilized and,
And the Belfair shop also. I
Yeah.
mean, Rod said, hey, can we at least just
yeah.
twice a week? I
Yeah.
mean, he was
Well,
absolutely.
that's a contract change, that's going to be a different issue.
Okay.
No, we can send out, one of our facility to do that.
We're limited on some of them too.
Yeah, but it's important that, we have people that are out doing other things, prioritize. What, do we have anything that they're doing that is less important, than going out there, a couple times a week?
I know they've had quite a few emergencies come up because of
Yeah.
issues with people, not county workers, but other issues, and so I know
Yeah,
that
we
they've
had,
been
I mean, we had the issue this morning with Memorial Hall. and
Right, they broke windows.
They broke windows and,
So they've been kind of
They've been
strapped as
busy.
well. so.
Who broke windows at Memorial Hall?
We don't know who it was, but they broke a lot of the windows in the back.
Don't we have cameras
part of
back there?
the-
Thought we did.
No.
Is-
No.
Are we,
We've taken care of the, well, not we, I would say our facilities people did a great job in repairing or boarding up the windows, because they'll have to get a hold of the window repair guys, and then they also removed the porch that was back there, and that's where a lot of the homeless would shelter.
but we're not thinking that it was cleaning staff that did it.
No,
Oh, no,
absolutely
no,
not.
no.
That they had to respond.
Well, but back to the cleaning issue, we're paying for the extra cleaning help.
yeah, no, it was not them. I just got a text from Ross. He says that he has extra spray bottles. And I know facilities, and I was just gonna mention that, we have not extra, but we have cleaning, fluid.
Okay,
So between Ross and, our facilities group, we'll have spray bottles and
awesome,
cleaning fluid for your staff.
great, thank you.
But we still need to get somebody out there to at least clean that thing
Redirect some of
down.
the cleaning staff.
Right.
We'll check with
So
them.
that's why
we'll check with
we're paying the extra cleaning staff still, correct?
Yeah,
Yes.
but he said we had to change our contract if we have to go out to Belfair.
No, so
Oh,
they're
that's what you
supposed
just
to be
said.
going to Belfair to do extra wipe downs. What I heard was you wanted a thorough cleaning of the facility.
Oh, no, 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 no.
No, just
Just
wipe
wipe
down.
down?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so they're
that's-
supposed to be doing that.
Okay,
And I'll
And-
check up
and
with
they're
the
not?
cleaner.
not that I'm understanding, and I'll double
Check
check
on
with
it.
Rod,
Please.
but
Yeah,
that was not my understanding. He was asking at least,
Well,
can we get some?
Rod would have to let him in.
Twice.
right? There'd have
That
to be,
facility
has
there'd have to be
lock?
some communication there, if they're gonna have a cleaner go into that place, because that place is locked up.
Right,
So if he's not getting any communication with them, it's probably not happening.
So we'll follow up on that.
thank you.
And what I meant was, we need to do extra cleaning, was that the ask was
You
to
were
have
thinking-
extra cleaning done,
Right,
Yeah,
and that would be an expansion of the contract.
yeah, no, we're just trying to get it wiped down for them,
yeah.
Well, let's see how they're performing their cleaning, how they're accessing the building.
yeah,
Mhm.
or if they are. Have one of us prove that they know where the building is. Well, it's a hard one to find. I don't know if you guys ever been to it, it's not that easy. I live there, so I know.
If I could go really quickly back to the reader boards. We only have 4, So who should I work with to identify where you want those located?
I think I'd work with the sheriff's office. They, Sergeant Severance
Okay,
is a really good resource.
okay. Do we have, is that something that would be useful as far as our GIS services, is identifying where the reader, I'm thinking
I
distribution.
gotta say,
Right.
it shouldn't be that hard though. You got only so many roads coming in. You have Belfair, you have, so Highway 3 coming this way, Highway 3 coming that way. You wanna hit them again close to Hoodsport because that's where they're coming in groups, whether we like it or not. They're still using Hoodsport as a tourist event. So that's 3.
Are you suggesting putting them
Will those,
at each of the, because Highway 3 is not a county road.
right, we have some prohibitions about
Right.
placing them on state rights of way.
Yeah, but if we need, we'll get property owners, but they'll give you the permission. All you gotta do is call them. They're not gonna tell you no now for this.
I still would recommend working with the sheriff's office to find out where they're going, because they've been tracking. And,
Okay,
So you got 4, so.
okay.
yeah,
All right, and so the focus is where folks are congregating essentially, and that's where we want to get that message out. Okay.
are you good with that, Commissioner Shute?
Yeah, I mean, I don't wanna get too bogged down on where they go. I mean, I think we know where our county roads are.
Yeah.
We'll travel, so, I mean, let's just get them out.
Yep, okay.
Does the public use the Belfair shop?
No,
No.
Well, that's what that extra cleaning crew is only going around cleaning those areas where the public is in contact. They're not going around cleaning our desks, our door handles, or anything like that.
No, but they're requesting because they congregate in a very small area that we at least get out there and get them.
I'm not suggesting we don't, and don't look at that. I'm just, that was what
Hey,
the
Frank?
request was. Yeah,
Right, so here's another way to look at that. We're still paying them, and all the public areas are closed.
and that's correct.
Either we're gonna stop paying them, or we can send them to some of these areas that aren't public but are still heavily used by staff. I
By
guess
staff.
that's just kind of up to them.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree, I think that's great.
okay. All right. I think that's it for me.
Okay,
Thank you, commissioners.
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Stay healthy.
Yes, likewise. See you later.
Yes.
Can we get that wiped down?
Right.
What's happening?
Mr. Dave.
Hey.
Okay, we're gonna move into our community development briefing. Once again, we'll go around the room and for introductions.
Deidre Cannon?
Dave Windom.
Frank Pinter?
Ross McDowell.
Randy Neville?
Kevin Shooty?
And Sharon Trask.
Okay, so, had a meeting with staff earlier and I've gotten, and by staff I mean our managers for planning, building, environmental health, community health. Casey is out sick, so we'll be addressing that as well. I put together a delegation of authority to give Christopher Nelson's signature authority on the bills for and payroll for community development. Kel Rowan, operational authority for community development in my absence, and then Alex Pacey, signature authority in public health for financial and payroll in the absence of Casey. So he is handling that. Each has given me their plans, and I just got these and just printed them. Essentially what we're looking to do on the community development side is we're going to continue to work. We're going to take this as an opportunity to get caught up on permits. So Christopher's broken things out into an inspection team and then a plan review team working from home. And they're just going to be taking stacks of plans and they'll have a designated production quota to get done, each day. The field inspectors are calling ahead to make sure that when they show up, it's just them at the site, so they can do their inspections. And then the plan review folks are also doing digital inspections. So people are sending in photos, videos, and they're coordinating that and accessing SmartGov online in order to put those documents in remotely. So we're going to use that system, as much as we possibly can.
That's what we've been asked for a long time, now they're getting forced into it.
That's right. And what we're asking to do is to take a 2-week pause on intake, and that'll give us a chance to clear all of our outstanding permits that need to be reviewed. We can go into the next time period at 0 and start doing intake then.
Just me personally, I'm not comfortable with that. I can understand when you're talking to people, telling them we're only taking in essential ones and things that you consider essential, but I think you should still be available, and to make that decision to cut it off completely might not seem.
I guess I wasn't clear. So we're still going to do those things you can do online. We'll be doing those online. So basically, all it would really affect is single-family residences and any large commercial.
But if there are things that are happening that they have to, it's the unintended consequence.
Right.
I just want to be able to make sure that our staff is still there, that they talk to you, for example, and they can still get help if it has to happen.
Oh, yeah.
And you can still make it happen. I'd hate to say that we're just stopping.
No, like, for example.
Well, we can't.
Yeah. So bulkheads, if somebody has something that goes wrong and they need something done right away, we're all over it. So we'll get that stuff handled.
So just maybe put it out that way, though, that we will, we're triaging for 2 weeks, and we'll put things out for 2 weeks that are not essential, but if things are essential, we're still open, we're still making it happen. If you have inspections that have to happen, you have crews that have to come out, because some of them, looking at that list, is, there's a loophole for everything.
Yeah, I know.
So most people are gonna be working, and we wanna make sure that they still can.
Yeah.
If they're allowed to.
Yeah, right, so that's yes.
Yeah.
So we're going to give 2 of our staff, one has just come back from back surgery and needs to be protected, so she'll be working completely from home.
Light duties, okay.
Right, and the other one is pregnant, and we're going to have her working entirely from home as well. So,
It's okay, though, if they can do it, then we got it.
Those 2.
I like your idea. You have a quota, you have things you need them to get done, they're gonna get it done. That's how we know they're doing the work. As long as that's happening, I'm completely comfortable with it.
Yeah, I think that we've got a good plan in place, and the managers, I'm empowering the managers to really move forward with creative solutions, and they're doing a good job. So Alex is basically going to be running public health, since I have Lydia tied up with everything else.
For you to give over a signature power, though, is that something you can do, or is that something we have to do? Because it just seems, I've never heard, in all my years, I've never heard
I've done
a
it
director be able to do that.
I've done it in the past just for paying bills and payroll.
It's just for AP and payroll.
Yeah.
Okay.
You sign it with the auditor's office and they have it on file.
Yeah.
They're already signed up with the?
Yeah, so I've got it right here, I've got copies to give the auditor.
Because it ultimately still comes to the commissioners, the
Yeah.
big batch, it still comes to you.
Yeah, so they'll sign the vouchers, and the vouchers still come to the commission for signature, so we're still okay.
Yeah, the only time we've ever done it was usually Public Works or something, when we had a new engineer, and we always gave the temporary authority to do that stuff up on top. So if it's not necessary, I'm good with it, just, it goes to the auditor's office, you gotta have those signatures, and then
Yep,
I'm good.
so, pretty simple plan, we're gonna just rock and roll, and then, yeah.
Just one comment again from the union side.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Those 2 individuals will be getting lead pay. And
Great.
technically, that's the board's, is required to approve that.
Kel and
And Alex.
Alex.
So that documentation will be coming forward as it's pulled together based on what the board is approving
Right.
today. But just so that the board recognizes that lead pay will be paid to those 2 individuals because they are working out of class.
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea, because you're so busy with COVID that you need to have these 2 helping and leading, so I think that's a great idea.
Well, and that's where we were going with this anyway, with the
Yeah.
stuff we were talking about,
Yeah.
except for now, instead of having to negotiate it, you're calling it lead pay, and that gets it done, right?
It's in their contract.
No, that's a smart move, I get it, I like it, that makes perfect sense.
And so I can clarify too, because your front door is going to be locked, is that right? There's appointments?
Well, no, the front door is
Is
not
that-
gonna be locked, but
Okay.
we have,
I know you have a reception over there.
reception, yeah. So we have a glass in the
Mariah still is.
reception.
Okay, so they still go there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have that plexiglass there, and
Great.
Mariah sits 6 feet back from the plexiglass, so, yeah, we've got lots of distance, so.
That's good.
No, that's-
And this actually may work out better for us anyway,
Right.
for the short term. So
Yeah.
we'll see what
Shooty,
happens.
do you have anything?
No, I think that's all fine.
Okay, great. Anything else?
That's it, I will leave copies, I need,
I gotta tell you, sir, every time you go to hit the button, it sounds like you're doing a straw on a soda. I don't know what that is, yeah.
so. And there, and then we'll have the environmental health one when I get it, but I have Alex working on another project first, so. We switched to a new reporting format, so Alex has got one more to do.
And then are these electronic so that we can send them to Commissioner Shue?
Yes, yes, absolutely. And other than
If
that,
you leave them there, I'll be there this evening, so.
Okay, so yeah, leave us a couple.
can do. So really, this really kind of clears my deck, so I can concentrate on what I'm doing up there. That,
Yeah, I
that
think this
will-
is a great idea. I see how busy you are in our meetings every morning, so.
Yeah, so there's a separate Mr. Shue.
They'll be in your box, Kevin.
Any other questions?
Great, thanks.
I don't have any.
Okay.
Thank you.
Get back to it. Oh, I have a request, and I think this makes sense, from Chamber of Commerce to have one of their people, because they're leading my long-term response,
Mhm.
to be considered essential, so I can have them at their office coordinate the things I need them to coordinate.
So aren't they supposed to, they're part of the ESF team,
Mhm.
How
so
do
they
we,
should be on the.
They should be on the
9
list.
call.
how do we not have the EDC doing that though? I'm just
They're,
curious.
Well,
they're,
they're
they're
all together.
working together.
They
Yeah.
are too.
Yeah, the chamber and the
Not the
ESF.
phone call I got this morning.
Yeah, they're all three.
All three, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jennifer is.
We need-
And the news to me too, so.
Yeah, we need to make sure that that's happening because they're feeling like they're not.
Really?
Yeah, I got the phone call this morning that apparently he has too.
Oh, well,
So,
yeah, well,
yeah.
we'll double check on that.
They're the ones that we actually,
Yeah, make sure
just so
that
you
they
know,
are.
we pay them to
Yeah,
be our
Right.
ADO and
So,
our connection out
one of
there.
the things we've tasked them all with is to reach out to folks to start doing a preliminary damage assessment, so I get an idea of what the economic impacts are, so.
I know the EDC is already working on that.
Yeah.
They are on top of it,
So,
they are amazing.
Yeah.
so I can
So
put that
definitely
back.
get a hold of them,
Okay.
if you haven't already.
Because I'm looking
I've
at,
talked to Jennifer, and they had a meeting supposedly set up, all three of them, yesterday.
I don't
So,
know.
I don't know what happened in the
I got a
meeting.
call this morning, so.
I have
From
a-
Jennifer, or from,
Another, go back to my door lock thing, and I'm asking because
Oh.
people are calling here, I have an email from Kel saying our door will be locked, best have appointment.
okay, I'll get a hold of her, find out for sure.
Okay, just so we know if someone's
And then we
calling
Right.
here.
Yeah.
So if we got somebody that's coming in for an emergency, they need to be able to talk to somebody. So.
Yes, they do.
Okay, because we have a back way we can go around
Yeah.
without going through those doors. Okay.
That's been the whole point the whole time is we need to make sure we keep that emergency availability
Mhm.
to everybody.
Okay.
Right. I know we're gonna recover from this, and we need to make sure that we're looking at our economy in the future too, so.
Well, and that's why I'm gonna, my planning assumption is we start implementing recovery in 30 days or less. We start working those pieces to get, get past this initial part and start working to recovery as soon as we can. So,
Yep, man, it's gonna be hard.
yep,
Yeah, yeah, it is.
but we'll keep just chomping at it, so.
We're Mason County.
Yeah, well, what it's gonna take, and that's, we think about the workers, then we think about the business owners, we forget there's a whole bunch of other property owners that are gonna be not able to get their rent, but they're gonna have to work together hopefully, and understand that they will have a long-term issue if they don't help in the short term with these businesses that can't be open. Maybe break it out over a year to get it paid back. They're all gonna be hurt for money, so they're all gonna want the money right away, but I don't know, I just hope that they all understand that.
Unfortunately, we do have the federal government is looking at assistance as well, so I'm crossing my fingers and hoping things
Well, that's happening today, and I just got off the phone with Derek Kilmer when I was walking in. We were talking, he's gonna get us another little list, so we can put some of it out immediately to them before this one comes out, and they'll get us another one based on what happens, hopefully today. We'll see what happens.
Okay. All right, that's all I got. Okay, cool, thanks.
In the morning,
Yeah, every morning.
every morning. It's a good thing.
What's that?
It's a good thing.
Yeah, yeah.
It'll work.
And they're going very smoothly now,
Give
so.
me 2 seconds. It's
Long time no see.
Yeah. Half an hour.
Yeah. Has it been that long?
That's the draft of
With
tonight's
the,
document, with the change in regards to.
awesome.
And Kevin, I know we're waiting for Randy to step back, but I just handed out the policy and the procedure from this evening's, this evening's agenda, the current draft,
So, yeah, please read.
with the change that we talked about in regards to a date to start, and the stay at home, or stay home, stay healthy verbiage. It should be electronically in your email.
Yep, I got it, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. So I just handed out what the draft copy of this evening's document is. 2 material changes in it. One was to put an effective date to this. Excuse me, and the effective date is the date of the Governor's Proclamation, which was March 23rd, as well as changing what I had in the context, shelter-in-place order, because his order really was a stay home, stay healthy order.
It was specific.
Yeah, so I changed that,
Shelter-in-place,
in here as well. So, so you have a copy of that document.
Thank you.
Couple of quick and simple questions we have. So in the spirit of the stay home, stay healthy, asking Washingtonians to stay home, does the first floor building 1 door need to be open?
Yes,
The outside door.
The outside, well, our door down here.
I think it still does. People still come in, people are still out there. It's not a quarantine, they are not necessarily, they're still allowed to go out shopping, go out, take care of things that are immediate and necessary. And I don't see how it would bother us. The only problem that we have right now is what was red is now yellow, and people don't see the sign that we changed. That's
Okay.
my opinion.
Audience office changed that.
Yeah, that was a
Yeah,
mistake, because it makes us have to deal with it.
Yeah. Well, I'm here every day and I see a lot of people coming in and out of those doors. Most of them are not coming in to see us. They're looking for elections or the assessor's office or the auditor's office. I would like to at least lock the automatic doors, but the doors coming in here. They can still reach us by phone, email, and that's what we're encouraging, is phone, email, phone calls, because,
We can schedule appointments.
right,
Yeah, and I may be outvoted, but I completely disagree. We're supposed to try and be there for them if we can. All we gotta do is put the signs back up that we had, and have the notice, and that'll cut it down. But to completely block them off, some of the stuff they do come in may be necessary. Not everybody has the accesses that we do through internet and stuff like that, especially in this town. So I'm just saying, if it's not absolutely necessary, then I don't know where the benefit would be.
well,
They're not coming close to our staff.
no, some of them do, they ignore the sign.
They do.
Well, then we need
And
to
they do
put,
come-
then we need to
come
put
forward.
that back up there again.
No, the sign is there,
Yeah.
It is.
and they're still coming back, and I worry about our staff, I don't want our staff to feel, I want them to know that we care about them as much as we care about everyone else, so that it's all inclusive. And
And then we
so
put another
that's
chair.
my worry.
Then we put another chair for the area that they're walking through.
Yeah.
Because it's already, it's not hard to keep control of, we just had to do it.
It's easier said than done. Commissioner Schutte, do you have any comments?
Yeah, I think keep the automatic doors unlocked, lock the secondary door. The Civic Center is locked down. I don't think this is out of bounds for what we're trying to encourage people to do. I think if they need to, they can come into the breezeway and they can call into the offices if they have an emergent need that needs to take, to be addressed. So I'm fine leaving the automatic doors open, but locking down both first and second floor secondary doors.
Okay,
And then the other question I have, briefing schedules for the next 2 weeks. We don't have a meeting next Tuesday. Do we want to have a briefing next Monday?
I don't.
I would say, and if there's anything emergent, we could still do a Zoom meeting or something like that, but I think the more we limit the forcing people to come in, I think the better. What do you think, Commissioner?
I think it depends on if there's something emergent. We have her already watching guard on us. If it's not happening, she would tell us that it's not happening. If it's happening and something necessary, then we would call it in, or we would set it up to come in.
And what I'd recommend is not cancel, but not have a briefing unless there's something.
Unless there's something
And-
exigent or
and that's where I'm
emergent.
at, because that's how we already set it up, and I think it works.
Okay. Just a reminder, April 7th is the CDBG hearing.
And that's the day after?
Right, that's the day before it's due. So it's due April 8th. So-
But that's the day after the governor said,
Oh, that's correct.
stay home, stay
Correct.
healthy.
So the Stay Home, Stay Healthy expires April 6th.
Right,
So this would be our Tuesday meeting. It's a public hearing for April 7th. And in order for them to get this is the Community Action Council. The board has to act prior to April 8th, which it needs to be submitted for, the date that it needs to be submitted by.
so can we send out information requesting people to email us their comments if they have anything to say up?
That's on tonight's agenda.
Yeah,
That's on tonight.
to have the hearing, as long as we have that, we've done our job. We're already asking for people to send comments in the other way. So as long as we have our meeting,
Right, and that's, I'm not suggesting we cancel the meeting.
yeah, as long as we have that
I'm-
specific meeting, we're on time and we shouldn't have a hiccup.
Yes, we just wanted to remind the board that
Oh,
there is a reason to have April 7th, and that's.
Oh, so
Yeah.
they're asking us not to cancel, which I don't want to anyway. if we
Yeah,
don't.
exactly, that's why I said, started off with, this is just a reminder, April 7th is we have that during that briefing.
And there may be other things between now and then that we
Right.
need to act on, who knows what will happen.
okay,
And April 6th, which would be a briefing day, would be the same as the.
Only if necessary.
Only if necessary for emergent and exigent issues.
Yes.
Okay.
are you good with that, Commissioner?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I have a letter from the treasurer, and she's also put it into a press release, that her offices are going to be reduced temporarily to between 9 and 1 p.m. on a daily basis. Her staff will be there, but given the order to stay home, stay healthy, her hours are going to be between 9 and 1. I have not been able to confirm if that's the same that the auditor and the assessor wants to do, although I did see that the email string of her sending this down did include the auditor and the assessor. So my question is, to eliminate the issue, because under the RCW, the commission sets operating hours.
I thought we already did when we passed that last thing that gave the authority to them.
Yeah, so
You
that,
suspended your meeting rules, that's not to do with the county.
No, but we also asked that part be included on their access and how they had access to their buildings and stuff like that. When we set into place our access for the county, access into the buildings, how they were gonna be handled and stuff like that, that's when we gave them the authority to change or lock down, not be open or what. That was included in that.
so in the operating guideline modification, we
Yes.
included a
when we,
authorization to the electeds to change their hours without coming to the
it
board?
wasn't change their hours, it was all their procedures and how they were dealing with the public. They're agreeing to, you know, at that time, they could have been closed completely, if that's what the elected official chose. That's what we put forward. And that's, you know, we can do this if we need to, but I'm just telling you, we already did it, I think. That was part of the discussion that we had. We didn't have exactly something that said hours, but we told them, the elected officials and department directors would have the authority to set up their hours and how they're.
Are you saying
Access.
last week when Frank had asked the departments to tell us how you're going to
How are you gonna
provide your
operate?
service?
Yeah, I was on, yeah, it would have been last, I was on the phone on Monday when we were talking about that, and we went through that, and then we put it into effect on Tuesday.
I don't think we specifically
Using
got
what
down to
document?
that.
How did we put it into effect? I don't think we put it
We
into
didn't
effect.
codify it?
Yeah, I don't think,
Can I chime in here?
Please.
Sure.
So, I was under a similar impression of Randy that we gave the elected electeds in particular, the flexibility to make these decisions. I think is evidenced by the sheriff's office closing the north precinct.
Yeah,
But if, in an effort to kind of save time and capacity here, if we need to make, in addition to our agenda tonight, to add that we give that flexibility to the electeds, I think that might just be the quickest way to get through this and make it clear.
and that is exactly where I was going, is to put something on the action agenda that says to the electeds that they have that authority that we talked about last week, because I don't believe we actually codified it in any way other than to have me send them an email.
okay. Well,
So-
let's codify it.
So we should put something, we'll put something on the action agenda for tonight to allow the electeds to proceed with their modified hours. And I think that's all I have, unless you have some questions.
Now, have we received anything from the courts as to what they're doing
They're
with
going
their
to be
staff?
open based on what the Superior Court, Washington Superior Court requirements were, but again, only with a limited staff. However, there's enough backlog of work in all of the courts to keep basically everybody busy there.
Great,
That includes the prosecutor and the public defense.
right. I know we received an email from Peter
Yes.
regarding
Yes,
And George Steele.
Dan.
Yeah.
and from district and from Superior Court.
Okay,
Okay.
great. Anything else?
That's all I have. Thank you.
Commissioner, do you have anything, Commissioner Shooty?
I do not, I'm good, thanks.
Okay,
I
one
do
more
have
thing.
one
Hold
more
on, he
item.
changed his mind, Kevin.
Yeah, I just saw a text come through.
You're lucky, Frank.
Yeah, I know, I didn't hear it click. So, the question in regards to the concession truck, we had suggested building 10 as an option. We talked about the parking lot across from the sheriff's office, and then Mel Chevrolet as an option. What is the preference of the board? Because he would like to take us up on either one of those three.
Mel
I would
Chevrolet,
say let's just move forward with building 10, and if we have to put that into use, then we'll adjust accordingly. I think the way we left it yesterday, let them know use building 10 and be prepared for a change in that based on how this evolves.
Sounds great.
yeah, Mel Chevrolet is the best location, but the parking, we may be creating a problem if it has to be moved to a secondary, I think the only one left is the other one off the sheriff's department. Do you think there'd be, if it has to move, do you think that Mel Chevrolet would be a good one to have people stopping?
I think it's a traveled road, but I think.
It's good for business, but is
Yeah.
it good for
Yeah,
But
safety?
remember, the citizens are being told to stay home, so
exactly.
traffic is very,
Very
very limited.
very-
Except for they're being told they can still go to get food and go for the drive-ins and stuff, and they are.
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
Yeah,
I went through this morning, yeah.
Correct.
There's a lot of cars on the road, man,
So
Yeah.
building 10,
Unless-
preference?
Unless we can't until the situation changes.
And then the rectory area.
I just wanted to put my 2 cents into that I don't probably have the parking at
Mel's,
Mel's.
That's what,
yeah,
yeah.
that's
So
what I
I
was
talked
just
to the
talking
guy on
about.
the phone. We're gonna meet tomorrow morning. I do probably have power and stuff at building 10 I can get to him.
Okay. Then that's where we'll go.
I'll call him back.
Did you run over?
I did from office hours.
He did, you
Email.
could
I
have
was
texted.
texting him on the phone. Oh yeah, I got
Wait a
one more
minute.
thing. That was my
Wait a minute,
text.
you know what I
Yeah,
just
I know it
realized?
was.
We had all these people that were watching our briefings and they're all employees. Every one of them. And, cause they're all running in here from upstairs or the left of the
This is a
auditor.
support service briefing.
Yeah.
We're supposed to do that.
That's funny.
It's working.
So now we're good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Anything else, Commissioner Shooty?
Nope.
All right, we'll see you tonight.
See you tonight.